Hello future people, welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and today we're checking out a trope from all horror movies, because it's time for another expansion from Don't Look Back. It's time for the Final Girls. For those of you that are not aware, Don't Look Back is a game from Blacksite Studios. It's actually in the middle of its second edition being released at the moment. I should be receiving my pre-orders for that within the next month or so. It's just going to depend on shipping to Australia, obviously. I am really excited for it. And that is one of the reasons why I've kind of been drilling these out slowly. I've had one particular order that I've been very slowly unboxing on the channel, quite deliberately, just drawing it out, just to keep the hype train going. This particular one, Final Girls, is definitely leaning on a trope that we should all be aware of. Don't Look Back is a horror-themed game. It's cooperative. It's somewhere in between a war game and a board game. And depending on who you're talking to, you'll get a different feel as to how they feel for it. That's kind of my explanation. Everybody's working together. You're trying to survive against a killer that's controlled by the mechanics of the game. There's a few little quirks in the original edition that you kind of have to work around, but it's a phenomenal game that I highly recommend. If you haven't pre-ordered second edition, my recommendation at this stage would be to wait for the release of second edition. They haven't announced the dates for when you can order it if you missed out on the pre-orders earlier in the year, but it should be happening very soon. So, here we are with the cover, and like all of the Don't Look Back expansions, it comes in this really awesome VHS case. And this is literally a VHS case. They order them specifically. They all come in this really stylized artwork to make them look like an old rented VHS, which is just really cool. Looks like we've got 4 characters in here. We seem to have some sort of businesswoman. We seem to have some sort of reporter. We have some sort of... I don't know. They're all tropes, basically. On the back, we get an idea of what comes in it. So we've got 4 resident heroes, 4 character cards. We'll be going through all of this. We do get a little bit of a preview here of what they're going to be looking like, but let's get in and have a look at the detail. Anytime you order something from Blacksite Studios, you will always get cards to say not who just cast them, but also who packed everything, and so on and so forth as well. So it looks like my models were cast by Bella. Thank you, Bella. I appreciate it. This also helps so that if there's a problem with your order, they can trace it back to who did it. We have 5 cards. We have the Final Girl Curse. The Final Girl is intended to be used to create a new element for your plots, help further the scenes you create, and capture the feel of the genre you love. Feel free to either assign the Final Girl Curse to a female character being played, or roll randomly among female characters to see who will be the Final Girl during a plot. When this character is the last character on the table, she becomes the Final Girl, and gains +4 combat, +4 fright, and all her attacks do +2 injuries. In addition, players must drive off the killer as part of the objective to complete the plot. If the Final Girl falls victim, or the killer is not driven off during the plot is failed. Exhibition mode. The Final Girl must also be the last character on the table in addition to driving off the killer before the end of the plot to succeed. Dr. Grange. Tell me more about that. So this is very clearly somebody that doesn't believe the story. They're an adult. They move 4 inches. They've got combat of 5. They've got awareness 10, fright of 5, and they have 1 luck. They have 1 skill, which is Mindful Moment. As a quick reaction, Dr. Grange may remove 2 terror from any friendly model besides herself within 2 inches. Dr. Grange removes 3 terror if both she and the target are on a light token. That's definitely going to be very helpful. Skill, Calming Presence. While any character is within 4 inches of Dr. Grange, Add +1 to that character's fright value. Yep. Here's Dr. Granger's story. If you want to pause the video to have a read of it, I'm going to continue moving on. Next up, we have Chisaki, who is a teen. We have movement of 4, combat of 10, awareness of 10, fright of 4, and 2 luck. Got one skill called Inner Strength. Chisaki ignores the first point of terror she would gain each turn. And item is the Museum Katana. Melee damage of 2 injuries. Special rule, the Museum Katana scores a critical on a successful attack roll of 1, 2, or 3. That's really good. Here's Chisaki's bio. If you want to read through that, feel free. Next up, we have Cat Grifter. Once again, it's another teen. We have a movement of 4, combat of 8, awareness of 11, fright of 4, luck of 2. We have one skill, which is Quick Hands. Cat can make the search the area action as a quick action once per turn. That is really good. And she's got a skateboard. When Cat moves a second move action, she may add an extra 2 inches to the move action when she's not indoors. Nice. Here's Cat Grifter's profile. Feel free to pause if you'd like to read this. Once again, I'm moving on. And then finally we have Rachel Newton, who is also a teen. Movement of 4, combat of 5, awareness of 11, fright 3. She's got luck 3. She has one skill, which is AV Club President. All electronic items start the game with +1 battery. That's really good. Skill, turn it off and on. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Once per activation as a free action, Rachel may flip 1 light token within her awareness. And finally, here we have Rachel's story. Again, feel free to pause and read through this if you would like to. I'm going to continue moving on. And here we have all of the pieces. So we've got 2 sprues. We have this one that's very clearly come off my sprue, but thankfully nothing's broken on it. Also, this has come off my sprue as well, but thankfully, again, nothing has come broken that I can see. In fact, nothing's really broken that I can see. A little bit of warping on the sword, which, to be frank, with a sword that thin, I am surprised it's not worse. I should be able to straighten that up with a little bit of hot water. Honestly, I might even just ignore it. It's not that bad, really. I'd probably argue this is too thin. That is not going to survive very long, unfortunately. So I'm going to start looking at the skateboard. This is really tiny. The fact that they've got all of those details there like that is absolutely phenomenal. There's even, it's properly curved the way that a skateboard should be, right? That's phenomenal. Here's the rest of the accessories. So we've got a hand here for Dr. Grifter. We have Rachel's camera, and we have a leg for, I'm not 100% sure who this leg's for yet. Well, there's the answer to that question. Miss Grifter is missing the leg. Really, really clear detail on this. I love the alien on the t-shirt. That's a nice touch. Glasses are really nice and clear. Kind of reminds me of Velma a little bit from Scooby-Doo. I mean, it's not Velma. I'm not even saying that it's based on Velma. It's just that's the vibe I get. I really, really like this. The flames are an interesting choice. I'm not 100% sure why there's flames there. Are they on the other shoe? No. Weird. I don't know. I guess it's just to make the base look a little bit more interesting. Moving on. So we've got the Doctor here. Some posts where you would expect them. Around the shoes as you would expect them. Detail on the Doctor is nice and clear. Really crisp casting. I can't even really see much in the way of mould lines, honestly. They've done really well. The AV Club girl, Really, really nice and detailed there. Actually showing off a little bit of the bust because, well, it's a horror movie, so somebody has to be, I guess. She has her heroic rock, so this is very clearly the most important person in the box because she's standing on a rock, and that is the law of gaming. And then finally, Chisaki, who I really like. It's kind of that classic Japanese schoolgirl uniform that you see in a lot of Asian media. That doesn't really exist in Australia as a uniform. I mean, this skirt does, but not the overall presentation. I really like them, honestly. As far as favourite is concerned, I don't know if I really have one. I would advise that if you're buying this, you're going to want to be very, very careful with this sword. That is way too thin and is not going to survive very long, unfortunately. This is going to break on me. So you will want to be very, very careful with this miniature because it's going to be extremely delicate. This will not survive in the state that it's in. I will eventually have to replace this sword, unfortunately. And there we are with the final girls box from Don't Look Back. I really, really love this game. So, like, if you consider that a bias, I love everything to do with this. There's some really nice tropes in this. There's some really nice skills that would definitely be useful in game. None of them really feel overpowered compared to anybody else that we've looked at. There's a whole series of videos with this game that you could go back through. Just do a search for Don't Look Back on our channel and you'll find quite a few of them. I will be getting in the brand new edition when it comes in, so I will definitely be going through each and every part of that individually. With the second edition on its way, I need to start planning for what I plan to do with that. I will definitely be spreading it out a little bit, but if you have things that you would like to see, let me know. I definitely will do an overview of the rulebook. I still need to kind of do one of those for Himetsu. I do own that as well. I haven't really had much of a chance to do anything with it at this stage. Things have kind of been a little busy. But let me know what you would like to see. If you'd like to see me going through and doing some hobby, if you'd like to see me just going through the rules, if you'd like to see some sort of comparison, I mean, there's a lot that's going to have changed because, well, quite frankly, the original book is like this big, and the new one is like thick. So there's going to be a lot of changes in there. But I'd love to hear from you guys what you would like to see. You've made it through to the end of another video. Your next mission is to hit subscribe and comment down below. If you'd like to reach out to the team, consider doing that, gettingtabled@gmail.com. Consider subscribing to our Patreon. For only $2 a month, you get early access to almost every single video that we do. Our most active social media is facebook.com/gettingtabled. It's where you'll find everything first. There's also a Discord. There's an invite on screen right now. If you type that in, it'll give you instant access. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. It's not the most active, but it's something we're trying to use more all the time. Come and check out Jason the Bruce at Twitch. He does both video game and hobby content. And of course, without question, play more.